When you begin to prepare for something, you are exercising your belief that thing already belongs to you. God doesn't want us to live in this place of hopelessness and despair because our heart's desires haven't shown up yet. He wants us to get ready because God is about to bring those things into fruition for your life. But you have to make sure that you're ready for when it shows up. Everything that shows up in our lives is a direct reflection of our preparation. When a football or basketball team win a championship, they don't win because they're good people. And they don't win just because they might have deserved it. They win because they were prepared for that moment. Their victory was earned through them practicing, through being consistent, disciplined, and using intentional effort. We don't have the power to force the manifestation of our heart's desires, but what we can do is get ready for it for when it shows up. I believe that God puts desires in our hearts for a reason. He wants us to exercise our faith. He wants us to trust Him, and He wants us to prepare ourselves for His promises. When you begin to prepare for something, you are exercising your belief that thing already belongs to you. So we have to practice having that faith. Get excited and have anticipation about your future. God doesn't want us to live in this place of hopelessness and despair because our heart's desires haven't shown up yet. He wants us to get ready because God is about to bring those things into fruition for your life. But you have to make sure that you're ready for when it shows up. So what are some things that we can do so that we can make sure that we are preparing ourselves for the promises and the destiny that God has for us? The first thing is find out what it is that you want. Sometimes we are unclear about what it is that we truly want, and that keeps us from living a life of intention because then we're just taking life as it comes. Sometimes we don't even know how to begin to prepare because we don't even know what we're preparing for. For a lot of us, the very first thing that we need to do is find out what it is that we're actually preparing for. Do a heart check. What are the desires and things in your heart that you're craving? How do you want your life to look? What kind of impact do you want to have in this world? What kind of people and relationships do you want to have in your life? What kind of person do you want to be? Start asking yourself questions. I believe that it's the questions that we ask ourselves that can lead us into purpose. The second thing is write down the vision. When life starts lifing and I feel like all of the work that I'm putting in isn't paying off, I'll refer back to my vision and it reminds me of where I'm going. Sometimes it's so easy to lose focus because life can be very tiring in the day-to-day. But when you have something that you can refer back to that can remind you of your dreams, your goals, or a vision that God placed in your heart, it can help keep you focused on what you're working towards so that you can stay in alignment with that vision and self-correct where necessary. The third thing is set small, achievable goals. I want to emphasize small and achievable because we may have this big giant goal, but we don't know how to get to it. So when we set small, achievable goals, it gives us actual baby steps to achieve that bigger goal that we have in mind. And I don't know about y'all, but for me, when I hit those small goals, it helps me to build confidence and momentum for the next goal that I set. The fourth thing is focus on becoming. There's a saying that says, if it's not working for you, it's working on you. I think about this and it really encourages me as I'm on my own journey that even though things might sometimes feel hard, even though I have setbacks, even though life be lifing, the things that seem like they're not working for me are actually working on me. They're building my character. They're helping me to learn perseverance. I'm learning how to be more disciplined and focused. I'm learning how to be resourceful and strategize. Allow what's not working for you to work on you. This is all part of becoming the person that you need to be in order to walk into that thing that you've been waiting for. The fifth and the last thing is have expectation. I find that the simple act of preparing builds faith. Because you have prepared yourself, you're expecting better results. For example, if you're a student and you have a test coming up, you expect to pass that test when you know that you've studied. If you go in to take the test and you know that you haven't studied the material, you're probably dreading the test. You don't even expect to pass and then you end up failing because you didn't do the work. If we look at life as a test, we'll realize we have to study or we won't pass. We have to do the work and we have to be intentional. I believe that God is a miracle worker and He still does miracles in our lives. However, He still expects us to do the work. We can't have this mentality that we're going to get good results for something that we haven't prepared for. One of my pet peeves with people is this mentality that things are just going to miraculously get better without them changing anything. That's not how life works. You don't get healthy by continuing to eat unhealthy. You don't build wealth by continuing to have bad money management habits. You don't get into a healthy relationship by continuing to entertain toxic people. Everything that you want will take intention and preparation. So we have to stop treating life as if things are supposed to just magically happen. When you have intention and when you actually do the work, then you can expect better results. There's a verse in the Bible that says, "Let your eyes look straight ahead, fix your gaze directly before you, give careful thought to the paths for your feet, and be steadfast in all your ways." This verse speaks about the importance of living a life of intention and staying focused. It says, give careful thought to the paths of your feet. That means we're not supposed to just live life randomly. We are to seek God about where He wants us to go, and then we are to walk in that direction and be intentional about every step moving forward. So find out what it is that you want. Where do you think God is trying to take you? Write it down. Set small, achievable goals in the direction of what it is that you want. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself and live your life in expectation, preparing for God's promises on your life. Do this and watch how your life transforms, because now you're not just sitting on the sidelines hoping. Now you're preparing for the desires of your heart. And this drastically increases the chances that vision will come to pass in your life.